following all the fat loss advice but feel like getting nowhere, I would never get my abs and flat belly if I was following the 90% of the information out there. Why? Because if hormones play a role in your fat loss resistance, then simply eating less and exercising more will not work. What works is focusing on things that allow your hormones to return to balance and burn that excess fat naturally. And this is exactly what I'm gonna show you today. 5 simple habits to burn that stubborn belly fat and get the results you want by simply doing less. So first one is early and low carb dinner. Honestly, a game changer. Here you can even see how I went from 90-20% body fat to 16-17 in just 2 weeks. It doesn't seem much, but visually it makes difference. So what the low carb dinner means? You want to aim around 20-30 grams of carbs, quality complex carbs like sweet potatoes, quinoa for example, for dinner. You can also go without carbs dinner. That will expand even more your fat burning window overnight, but overall be mindful with cutting carbs too much. You want to aim during the day for around 100-150 grams, and the main reason why I'm highlighting that don't cut carbs completely, because if you know that the hormone play a role, then cutting carbs can suppress your metabolism more and actually cause more belly fat, and that's something like I went through when being on keto or very low carb diet. It didn't end up well. So here you have also example of the ideas of the good quality low carb dinner. If you want to go more in terms of nutrition for hormonal balance, I made another video with the exact blueprint in terms of all the macros and a few other helpful tips. So I will put the link here if you would like to watch it. So the amount of the carb, one important thing, and then the timing. So you want to finish your dinner at least 3 hours before bed. You can even go for 4 hours. You want to expand that window. So let me explain now what I mean here. And I know that some people will disagree that it doesn't really matter when you eat your carbs because the fat loss comes down to the calorie in and out, the calorie deficit. It's not necessarily true, because what also impacts that fat burn and fat loss is insulin. So for example, if you have dinner late in the night or heavy carb large meal, it will spike your insulin and it will take more time for insulin to drop. And when your insulin drops, that's basically when your body starts burning fat, because the glucagon, fat burning hormone, gets activated. So with the large meal, your body enters that fat burning zone quite late, so the window is quite short comparing to if you had dinner earlier and the light low carb dinner. So here you eat healthy low carb balanced meal, it doesn't spike your insulin much, and then your insulin drops way earlier, so you can enter that fat burning zone way earlier. That means that's your fat burning window overnight. It's honestly such a simple shift, but can make massive difference. As I said, once your hormones return to balance and your insulin sensitivity improves, that will benefit your body composition and your fat loss. And if you feel you need more support and accountability, join my waitlist for Superwoman Formula Mentorship that I'm launching very soon. Then the second small shift, little habit, is adding a bit of green boosters like wheatgrass or chlorella. Those greens are super alkalizing, and pH balance, which means the acidic and alkalizing load of the foods you eat, is very important for overall inflammation, which then will impact your hormonal balance and also how your body burns that fat. So here, for example, you can see the example of different foods with different pH. Overall, the meat, eggs, milk, sugar are very acidic, and most of the fruits and veggies are on the alkaline side. So here what I'm saying, don't avoid the quality meats, eggs, because those are nutritions. Definitely be mindful with the sugar. But what I'm saying here, basically balance your plate in a way that it's 80% those green good stuff. Cucumber is simple, celery, asparagus are also good, but those wheatgrass, chlorella powders really nice boosters. So you can have a little shot after your main meal, or simply add to your smoothie, or incorporate that in a day. It's a small change, but helps you with that balance and then belly fat as well. Then the third one, a little morning habit, having a little bit of apple cider vinegar, 1 to 2 teaspoons first thing in the morning. You can also have before each meal if you want to go one step further, but I would say as a bare minimum, have it in the morning, because that will help you balance your blood sugar and reduce cravings. But also blood sugar is kind of like fundamental for your hormonal balance. And also by having that apple cider vinegar, you reduce that insulin spikes I mentioned earlier. So again, high insulin environment cause like the fat storing, and by having that apple cider vinegar, you minimize those spikes and allow your body to spend more time in a fat burning zone. Then the fourth one is simply walking. And I know you may be a bit of skeptical, like how walking would actually help me burn fat, but honestly, if you have hormone imbalances, intense exercise can make things worse, and walking is a nice zone to cardio that helps you get into that fat burning mode as well. And what I would be aiming for is for like 10k steps a day. It may seem like a lot, but if you spread that into like shorter walks during the day, it doesn't feel. I personally don't like walking, but what I do is either like call people, my parents, my friends, or simply listen to some podcasts what I'm interested on or like working on currently. That way it makes the walk more enjoyable and bearable. And here of course I'm not talking about like snail pace walking, it's more like fast vigorous walking. And what actually I started doing quite recently is walking up the hills. I know that not everyone has hills around, but if you have, that's really like, I would say, the cheat code to get into that zone to cardio without compromising your hormones and getting the results you want. And honestly, when I look back, when my hormones were in balance, the more I was exercising, strength training, like more intense exercise, the more belly fat I was accumulating. And it was hard to like accept, because I'm naturally like sporty, I like exercise. But the moment I accepted, I will take it easy, start walking, doing those like gentle like movements, my hormones, it was so much easier to balance hormones and also like lose that belly fat. And the last one is sleep. You can think about like not getting enough sleep or like poor quality sleep as like high cortisol, which is fat storing hormone, and getting good night's sleep, balanced cortisol. And also with balanced cortisol, you are less prone to like sugar cravings. So that's like another thing that enough amount of sleep will help you. So like from hormone perspective, you want to fall asleep or be in bed around like 10 p.m. and fall asleep by 11 p.m. ideally. And I made another video on like the proper unwind routine after like busy day, so I will put the link before, because it's not only about like the length of the sleep, like getting those 7-8 hours, but also like the quality, the deep sleep, REM sleep. Having like a proper unwind routine helps you get into that state and increase that deep sleep where your body pretty much like regenerates. If you would like to try some supplements to boost that sleep, L-theanine, apigenin, passion flower are quite good. However, if like the cortisol and overall like being constantly like on the go in a fight or flight, supplements can work, but not for everyone. So I would use supplements as a last resort overall.